Today we're preparing these tomato plants to be trellised up. Before I put these plants out, I call it a haircut. I trim the bottom leaves off. You can see that they're growing back. And so what I do is I start cutting the leaves off because I don't want all that dirt splashing up on my leaves. Onto the stem, there is a lot of dirt onto the stems. Even though these plants look small, they're going to grow vigorously. They're fixing to take off, and so what I want to do is go through the tomatoes here and take and cut the bottom leaves off. They've already got blooms on them. I'm also making sure that there's no suckers on there. Once I cut those little ones off and that limb right there, you see in there there's blooms, and that's going to put all the nutrients to those blooms, which is what I want. Plus, taking off all this weight is going to help these tomato plants stand straight up. We've been having a lot of wind, and so now they're starting to get a lot of weight on them. And also, I want to develop my leader stem here. So I'll be taking off this one. I'll be taking off that one. You'll see a sucker right there. So that's coming off, and then it goes right to my bloom. And then I'll be taking off this. That's going to help create this tomato plant to start standing up straight so I can get ready to trellis it. Because it will not be long before I'll have to trellis these tomatoes. I'll have to get them, whether I go to a Florida weave or however I decide to do it. I don't like caging so much because of the airflow. We live into a hot, humid place here, conditions, and so by end of June, July, no matter what, if they're indeterminate, determinate, these plants start getting disease. They can't, it stresses them out, and then they start just, dying out. So determinates grow to a certain height, and then they put on their fruit, and you pretty much harvest at one time. The indeterminates continue to grow. You got to have a higher staking for them, and so by saying that, here on the southeast coast, it doesn't matter if they're indeterminate, determinate. When that heat kicks in, then these tomato plants really start to be affected. So I don't mind growing indeterminate, determinates. By the side the indeterminates get too tall, all I got to do is cut the top of these plants right here, and then they will put all those nutrients to the fruit. So I love growing indeterminates and determinates. It's just that, a lot of people like to do it easy. Just the staking of the determinates, which get approximately about 4 feet high, 3 to 4 feet high, depends on the variety. So yes, we are getting prepared for these tomatoes to be staked up. So I have gone through all these plants, fixing to head to these right here and get them where that dirt is not being splashed up onto the leaves to cause disease, because it will cause a disease. It'll cause bullseye rot and other variety of diseases because of the soil, what's into the soil splashing up onto the leaves. I believe it's called spores, if I'm saying that correctly. So, and I've dealt with that before, so I don't mind losing a few tomatoes at the bottom to help protect these plants. But guys, this is my advice. If you got tomato plants, don't let them all bush out so that those leaves will touch the bottom of that soil, because you're just preparing yourself to have a disease and cause problems down the road. Give them a little haircut, cut all these bottom leaves off, and this is where I've already cut them, and they just coming right back out. And reason I cut them, because they was in the greenhouse, they was growing vigorously, and I needed the room, and I knew that I was planting these deeper anyhow. It depends on the height of your plant, how deep you go. I wanted to go deep because of our heat and humidity here on the southeast coast. So I definitely don't want that it'll be all over the ground. And I know I've grown a lot of tomatoes, and I know, well, just this right here, let's see, Yeah, I'll be cutting that off. There's a little sucker there. If I let that continue to grow, it just bush out and eventually touch the ground. And I want good airflow through my tomato plants. So that's why I don't really like caging them. I do cut some of the leaves out because I find out if you'll give them good airflow, it not only helps to pollinate the plants, so to produce you a harvest, it also helps these plants to breathe, and so they can not get disease. Every time I've not cut some of these leaves out, then inside the middle disease will start taking place. The plant is not getting a proper sunlight, it's not drying out, moisture gets in there and causes the disease, which terminates your plant growth and could kill the plant. Well guys, thank you, and hurts your harvest. So guys, thank you so much. Just want to give you this update. Don't let your tomatoes plants just grow all over the ground. They might be pretty, you know, seeing all that growth, it might be pretty, but it's not healthy for the plants. You see how this plant right here is leaning over? It's because all that weight right there. And I cut that off to help this plant to stand up straight, and so I can make it easy to trellis it. And so this is not, that leaf branch right there is not doing any good. It's just best for me to go ahead and cut it out, get that sucker out of there, and get my leader going so this plant can produce a lot of fruit for a great harvest this summer. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you on to the next video.